happened?
Yeah. We're in our apartment right now, just coming from the airport. The same airport we traveled to about an hour ago. So things didn't go to plan, to put it mildly. And that's why today's video is a bit different. Now, our plan was to go to the airport, fly to Bodø and spend an extended weekend there. But when we got to the airport, the self-service check-in machine said that we couldn't check in at this time. And that's when I realized that we'd completely miscalculated the time. We always work our way back from the flight, subtracting the time to get to the airport, do the check-in and so on. And we'd done the same this time, except for one huge difference. I'd just forgotten to subtract the time that we were supposed to have at the airport. So we arrived exactly when we were supposed to be leaving and could almost see the airplane take off right next to us. Very frustrating. And this system has worked flawlessly for the past 262 flights until now. So I don't really know how I managed to make such a silly mistake. I think we'll blame it on the pandemic and the fact that we've not been flying for a year and a half. So it's been a long time since I've been doing this. But anyway, we've booked new tickets at a steep price and are heading back to the airport tomorrow morning for our second attempt at flying to Bodø.
Hello, I'm Tora and this is Jørn. Half a decade ago, we traveled around the world, quite literally, and caught the travel bug big time. Since then, we've been to more than 60 countries, and a few years ago we became the first Norwegian couple to get married at Mount Everest Base Camp. Due to COVID and travel restrictions, we're now exploring our home country of Norway. The next morning, we checked and triple-checked the time, got to the airport and thankfully all went to plan. Before heading north to Bodø, we had to make a stop in Oslo.
First flight done and we've landed in Oslo, and this is just a weird sight. I think it's the first time ever we've come to a major airport and we looked at a tax-free and the shelves are just empty. There's no people there, there's nothing going on because there's no international travel happening. There's almost just domestically, so all the shops are just closed and empty.
Yeah.
It's really surreal.
No chocolate on the shelves or anything. Coming into Bodø, we were fortunate enough to have the views towards the coast. The landscape really reminded us of the volcanic islands of the Pacific, which is incredible knowing how far away this is. What's great about Bodø, at least for visitors, is that the airport is right next to the city, so it only takes 20 minutes to walk from the terminal to the city center, which was a lifesaver for us, since our new flight landed a mere 30 minutes before our first excursions to Saltstraumen. Saltstraumen is the strongest maelstrom in the world, and we were going through it in this rib, but first we had to get suited up. The excursion was advertised as both a trip to Saltstraumen and a safari, watching white-tailed eagles. So we got the camera ready, and amazingly we saw our first eagle after just a few minutes, still within the vicinity of the city. There was an attempt to feed the eagles too, but they just sat patiently on the island, while the seagulls took the opportunity for a feeding frenzy. Continuing onwards, we saw some really bizarre rock formations, and another eagle flew by. As we were closing in on the maelstrom, the current really started picking up. What you see here is nothing but tidal currents. This isn't a river. Finally, we arrived at Saltstraumen. It was quite a sight, an actual maelstrom, like those in the movies, although a bit smaller and not quite the boat-eating types. But according to the guides, these maelstroms can reach a diameter of 10 meters during the strongest tidal currents. It was also pretty crazy to see that we did 8 knots but stood completely still compared to land. The guide said that the current often reached 10 knots, and according to Wikipedia, it can go all the way up to 20 knots. Looking at the maelstrom from above, it's even more impressive, and also strange to see how calm the center is compared to the sides.
Super early morning today, but since we're north of the polar circle, it's sunny all day round, so there's no reason to get up late and have to walk with all the other tourists, but it is so windy today.
Our next adventure went to this amazing place called Hovdsundet, known for its double beach. And just as we approached the beach, we saw even more eagles.
We've made it to the viewpoint, and it's just a fantastic beach. It's probably the best looking beach we've seen.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, it's hard to find something to compare it to. So now we're heading down a bit again to see if we can actually get down to the beach and not just look down at it. We have made it down to the beach. Oh, the sand is even red here. Oh, and it's sandy, very sandy at the beach. Who knew? Check this out.
Eventually, we had to go back, and since we got up so early, the hotel breakfast was still open. Yay! Next up was Keiservarden, one of the best viewpoints in all of Bodø, but apparently also one of the windiest, hence the lack of footage. And finally, we went to Mjelle, a beach known for its red sand. I immediately wanted to find out what made it red, while Jørn was fascinated by the strange shapes and patterns around the beach. Like all good things, this trip had to come to an end too. It may have started off terribly, but what a fantastic weekend it still ended up being.